breathe, not because you're calm, but because you're still here. Because after everything you've been through, everything that tried to bury you, everything that whispered quit when nobody was watching, you're still standing. And that alone already tells me something about you. You don't break easy. You bend, you bleed, you drag yourself forward when logic says stop, but you don't disappear. And the world notices people like that, even when it pretends not to, especially then. See, nobody warns you about what happens when you stop living on autopilot, when you stop numbing yourself, when you stop pretending you're okay with a life that doesn't feel like yours. The moment you wake up, really wake up, life gets louder, the doubts get sharper, the pressure gets heavier, and suddenly every second feels expensive because now you know. You know time is moving whether you do or not. You know potential expires if it's ignored. You know comfort is a trap dressed up as peace. And once you see that truth, there's no going back. That's when the war starts. Not outside, inside. Between who you've been trained to be and who you know you could become. That war doesn't scream, it hums. Late at night, early in the morning, in the quiet moments when distractions fade and reality taps you on the shoulder, that hum says, you're capable of more. And it won't shut up. You tried to silence it, didn't you? Stayed busy, stayed distracted, stayed surrounded, but it kept coming back. Because that voice isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to wake you up. See, most people never hear that voice, or worse, they hear it once and run. They choose comfort over calling, routine over risk, familiar pain over uncertain growth, and they live quiet lives full of almosts and what-ifs. That was never going to be you. You feel things too deeply, think too intensely, notice too much. You were never built for a small existence. That's why average feels unbearable, why monotony drains you, why settling feels like suffocating. And instead of understanding that, the world tried to fix you, told you to calm down, slow down, be realistic. They labeled your hunger as impatience, your discipline as obsession, your intensity as a problem. But what they really meant was, you remind us of what we gave up. And people don't like mirrors, especially ones that reflect unrealized potential. So they projected. They doubted you out loud, questioned your choices, smirked when you struggled. Not because they knew better, but because your effort made their excuses uncomfortable. And that hurt. Because you didn't start this journey angry. You started hopeful. You believed effort mattered. You believed loyalty was real. You believed if you showed up consistently, someone would notice, someone would care. But reality hit different. You learned that people clap when you entertain them, not when you're building. You learned support is loud at the beginning and silent in the middle. You learned nobody feels the weight of your goals but you. And that lesson, that one changed you. It stripped away naivety, burned off softness, replaced expectation with awareness. You stopped asking, will this pay off? And started saying, I'll make it pay off. That shift, that's when you became dangerous. Because a person who no longer relies on validation can't be controlled. You stopped broadcasting your plans, stopped explaining your silence, stopped shrinking yourself to make rooms comfortable. You learned to move quietly, to work without witnesses, to suffer without applause, to grow without announcing it. And that kind of discipline, it changes your posture. You walk differently now. Talk less, observe more. You don't rush, you don't panic, because urgency doesn't mean chaos. It means focus. And your focus has sharpened. You don't chase everything anymore. You choose. You don't respond to every voice. You filter. You don't waste energy convincing people who already decided not to understand you. You redirect it inward, into structure, into habits, into standards. Standards that don't bend when you're tired. Standards that don't negotiate with emotions. Because you learned something critical. Feelings come and go. Results stay. So you stopped waiting to feel motivated. Stopped waiting to feel confident. Stopped waiting to feel ready. You moved despite how you felt. And every time you did, you proved something to yourself. That you're reliable. That when things get hard, you don't disappear. You adapt. That self-trust, that's rare. That's built only one way. By keeping promises to yourself when nobody else is watching. And you've done that more times than you can count. On days you wanted to quit. On nights you questioned everything. On mornings your body begged you to stay still. You moved anyway. Not because it was easy, but because it mattered. And slowly, without fireworks, without validation, you became someone else, someone harder, clearer, more grounded. You stopped romanticizing the journey, stopped expecting it to feel good. You understood that growth doesn't feel inspiring, it feels demanding. It demands consistency when motivation goes. It demands discipline when excitement fades. It demands patience when results are delayed. And you stayed. That's why you're not like everyone else anymore. You've seen what consistency does over time. You've felt what sacrifice costs. You've tasted what progress feels like when it's earned. So now, when things get quiet, you don't panic. You lock in. Because silence isn't empty anymore. It's charged. It's the space where you sharpen yourself, where you recalibrate, where you prepare for the next level. And trust me, there is a next level. You're not here by accident. You're not feeling this way randomly. You're not restless for no reason. Something is forming. Something built from pressure, from disappointment, from resilience. And when it shows itself, when opportunity finally lines up with preparation, you won't hesitate. You won't second guess. You'll move with certainty because you already know what it costs to hesitate. You've paid that price before and you're done paying it. And here's the thing nobody tells you about momentum. Once it starts moving, it doesn't ask if you're comfortable. It drags you forward. It demands more of you, more discipline, more focus, more honesty with yourself. Because growth isn't polite. It doesn't wait until you feel ready. It doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't slow down just because you're tired. And right now, momentum has its hands on you. You feel it in the way you can't go back to who you were, in the way old habits feel hollow, in the way excuses sound weak when they come out of your mouth. You've crossed a line, not a visible one, an internal one. The line where comfort stopped being an option. And from here on out, everything costs more. Your mornings cost more effort. Your habits cost more sacrifice. Your focus costs more isolation. But what you gain? Clarity. Clarity about who deserves access to you. Clarity about what matters. Clarity about what you're no longer willing to tolerate. You stop chasing everything. You stop reacting to noise. You stop explaining your pace to people who never intended to move with you. Because your pace isn't slow, it's deliberate. You've learned something painful but powerful. Rushing without direction is just another form of procrastination. So you slowed down to speed up. You started thinking long term, playing the long game, making decisions based on where you're going, not where you are. And that takes maturity. That takes restraint. That takes walking away from short-term validation for long-term dominance. And most people can't do that. They need quick wins, immediate praise, instant feedback. You don't. You're willing to build in silence because you've already lived loud and empty, and you know how that ends. It ends with regret, and regret is heavier than discipline will ever be. So you choose discipline, even when it burns, even when it isolates you, even when it means being misunderstood. Because being misunderstood is temporary, but being mediocre is permanent. And you refuse to live a life that feels unfinished. You refuse to look back one day and realize you played small because you were afraid of pressure. Pressure is where you were forged. Think about it. Every time life squeezed you, you didn't vanish. You adapted, you learned, you recalibrated. You came back sharper. You've been underestimated more times than you can count.